Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to join you here at the Tourism Industry Conference 2019. At ITB Asia in November last year, I spoke about our strategies to develop the tourism sector by reinventing our attractions and offerings, attracting new visitor segments, and growing value capture, as well as partnering stakeholders for innovation. Chief Executive of STB, Keith Tan, will share more about STB's plans in these areas during his presentation later. Tourism has contributed around 4% of Singapore's GDP and provides more than 60,000 jobs within its core industries. Beyond these top-line numbers, let me share some thoughts with you this morning on the importance of tourism in three key areas. First, supporting the growth of our local businesses, both here and abroad. Second, creating good jobs for Singaporeans. And third, reinforcing Singapore's status as a global business hub. We have just announced, not too long ago, that the two integrated resorts, or IRs, have committed to investing a total of 9 billion Singapore dollars on their expansion plans, which introduce new world-class attractions and experiences. Many of these will be first in Singapore. For instance, Marina Bay Sands will introduce a new entertainment arena, while Resorts World Sentosa will expand Universal Studios Singapore to include Super Nintendo World and Minion Park. The new investments will benefit Singapore's tourism industry and further strengthen our position as a global business hub. It will also create many jobs for Singaporeans and business opportunities for local companies. For example, local SME Diamond Glass, which started out as a two-man operation in 2006, has grown in staff strength to 200 to support facade installation and maintenance services for MBS. Another local SME, Vismark Food Industries, has been able to scale up its capabilities and gain valuable exposure to many exciting collaborations through its 9-year partnership with RWS as food supplier for its F&B operations. These are just two examples of the many companies that will derive significant spin-off benefits from the IRs. In 2018, 80% of the total contracts awarded by both IRs went to Singapore-based companies, amounting to around 1.1 billion Singapore dollars. And this figure is likely to grow as the two IRs enter their next phase of development. Likewise, where we organize large events like F1 race, there are positive spin-offs for local companies and local businesses. For the current term of F1, more than 90% of the contracts for race-related works went to local companies. The IR's expansion will contribute to the inflow of visitors looking for new attractions and experiences. With 18.5 million international visitor arrivals to Singapore last year, tourism presents a good opportunity for our businesses to market their products to the world. For example, in the City Hall area, near where MTI is, we often see tourists flocking to some of our homegrown F&B outlets like Ya Kun and Song Fa Bak Kut Teh for a taste of local food. Some visitors enjoy our local food so much that they buy miniature jars of kaya or pre-packed Bak Kut Teh spices so that they can recreate these flavors back home and share them with friends and family. Tourism thus presents an opportunity for Singapore products to be enjoyed around the world. For companies like Ya Kun and Song Fa and many others, which are expanding in overseas markets, tourism helps to build brand familiarity, augmenting their international marketing efforts. Within the global food gift market, which is estimated to reach US $70 billion by 2020, Singapore companies are well positioned to capture a slice of this business. Enterprise Singapore and the Singapore Food Manufacturers Association launched the Singapore Food Gifts Initiative to promote Singapore food gifts to tourists through dedicated spaces in the transit areas of T1 and T4 of Changi Airport. This created additional opportunities for food manufacturers to develop and showcase new products, spurring business growth. And since its launch in November 2017, sales of the food gifts have reached more than 3.6 million Singapore dollars. Riding on the success of this model, the Singapore Food Manufacturers Association and Enterprise Singapore are looking to bring other food manufacturers on board and to replicate such a setup at other venues that are frequented by tourists. Another initiative to showcase our local products is STB's Experience Step Up Fund, or ESF, which supported retailers such as Violet Woon Singapore to develop attractive food souvenirs for tourists at their new cafe and gift shop concept at Ion Orchard. I understand that Violet's beautifully packaged food gifts have been doing well, and this has led to more business orders from corporates. With the launch of Design Orchard in January this year, we have created a space for our local designers and companies to showcase their merchandise in the heart of Orchard Road, and also to test and launch new retail concepts and products. We intend to grow the product offerings at Design Orchard by bringing on board Design Singapore Council, which is now part of the MTI family. To continue supporting local businesses in their efforts to innovate and grow, I'm pleased to announce the launch of Sentosa Enterprise by Sentosa Development Corporation, SDC. This is meant to encourage businesses to develop and test new and innovative concepts and lifestyle experiences using Sentosa as a sandbox. SDC will share the risk with its business partners by offering space at very affordable rental rates, and it will provide facilitation support on licensing and regulatory approvals. We hope that through this scheme, Sentosa can provide unique offerings and experiences not found anywhere else in Singapore to attract more local and foreign visitors to the island. I encourage everyone here to visit the SDC booth later to find out more about how you can participate in this scheme. Let me now move on to the second area, which is how tourism can create good jobs for Singaporeans. The diverse sectors in the tourism sector offer good job opportunities that will appeal to Singaporeans with different interests and at different stages of their lives. Singaporeans can find their calling in creative and diverse professions such as tourist guide, designer, or event organizer. Our two IRs currently employ about 20,000 people. More than 65% of the workers are locals, including a significant number of PME jobs. And when the IRs expand, they will create up to 5,000 new jobs directly, with even more jobs generated from the supporting industries. Now, much has been said about the importance of technology in raising productivity levels within our industries. And while the government is committed to supporting these productivity efforts within the tourism industry, we recognize that technology alone is not a silver bullet. And this is particularly true for the service industry, including the hotel industry, where the human touch remains essential. Now, however, automation and digitalization can support creation of better jobs, as in the case of Swiss Hotel, the Stanford. And when I visited them last year, I was glad to see their assisted automated check-in and check-out counters. It frees up time for the staff to focus on engaging customers to increase customer satisfaction. The enhanced job responsibilities have contributed to higher wages and increased job satisfaction levels for front office staff, such as Ms. Joan Singh, whom I met during my visit. And recently, I also met Mr. Stanley Fu and Ms. Jasmine Tan on a precinct tour of Ang Mo Kio Heartlands. And by using their Skills Futures credit, They enrolled in a tourist guide course and discovered their passions in guiding. And then they co-founded Oriental Travel and Tours, organized tours to the heartlands. So as part of STB's Tour Design Challenge, they participated in a series of ideation workshops, site visits, and networking sessions to brainstorm and develop new tour product ideas. Their ideas subsequently qualified for STB's ESF funding, which supported the development and marketing of their Heartland Precinct Tour. Stanley and Jasmine are good examples of how we can work together and leverage the various schemes that we have in place. I'm confident that the tourism sector, with its diverse offerings and passion points, will continue to provide many good jobs for Singaporeans. Let me move on to the third area, which is how tourism can reinforce Singapore's status as a global business hub. The MICE incentives, conventions, and exhibitions, incentives, conventions, and exhibitions, or MICE sector, is a key pillar of our tourism industry. The MICE sector has seen strong growth over the years, and 2018 was a particularly good year. Now, many of you will recall how Singapore played host to the first Trump-Kim Summit, cementing our place in the history books, showcasing our expertise in organizing such high-profile events to the highest standards. Singapore also hosted other key international conferences, such as the ASEAN Summit and the Bloomberg New Economy Forum. In addition to benefiting the tourism industry, such events also strengthen our status as a global business hub. MICE is important in Singapore as it allows us to promote Singapore as a knowledge hub, where new ideas and business networks can be established. Earlier this morning, we had MOU signings between STB and two very good companies, very good partners, Traveloka from Indonesia and the Alibaba Group from China. And when I was talking to the management team from these two companies, one of the things that we discussed was how Singapore can be a gateway and a hub to the region. And this is a role that I think will be reinforced by playing to our strengths in the MICE sector. So MICE events also allow us to establish thought leadership, especially within key growth or priority sectors for Singapore, to drive larger business and economic outcomes. An example is the Industrial Transformation Asia-Pacific, a Hanover Messe event that welcomed over 15,000 attendees from 55 countries. Through the showcase of cutting-edge Industry 4.0 products, technologies and services, and opportunities for knowledge and technology transfer, the event helped to reinforce Singapore's reputation as a technology-intensive digital manufacturing hub. Our local companies and employees also benefit from participation at MICE events through networking and other business opportunities. An example is the Singapore FinTech Festival, a homegrown MICE event that has anchored Singapore as a thought leader in the fast-growing field of FinTech. The 2018 edition was the biggest gathering of the global FinTech community that drew more than 45,000 participants from over 130 countries, with more than 16 billion planned investments in ASEAN enterprises over the next 3 years. So it doesn't just benefit Singapore, but it benefits the region, using Singapore as a regional hub. Singapore's international appeal, our strategic location, our strong infrastructure, and business-friendly environment are amongst the key factors that have enabled Singapore to consistently maintain its position as a top MICE city and global business hub. But we are not taking this for granted. We are not resting on our laurels. It is a process of continuous improvement and rejuvenation. So adding to Singapore's world-class lineup of iconic lifestyle destinations is Jewel, Changi Airport. With over 280 retail stores and eateries, leisure and lifestyle attractions, and the world's tallest indoor waterfall. And this one, there are lights, it will change color. It's a very attractive place. And I know many of my residents who have been there told me that when they visit the Jewel, they feel so proud to be Singaporeans, because it's a way for us to showcase to the world and to our own population what Singapore can do when we put our hearts and minds together. Cruise passengers can also look forward to dedicated fly cruise services, such as integrated ticketing and baggage services and lounge facilities at the Changi Lounge, allowing Singapore to further cement our position as a fly cruise hub for Asia. So it's a seamless process. You go to Changi Airport, because SATS is the operator. So they will provide a seamless service for you to do fly cruise. Another iconic destination that comes to mind is the Singapore Zoo, which opened in the 1970s and has earned its reputation as the open concept zoo with innovative concepts to bring people close to wildlife, such as the world's first free-ranging orangutan habitat. Generations of locals and tourists have enjoyed these attractions over the decades, including myself and my family. My parents used to bring me there, and when I have children of my own, I brought them there. Maybe one day I'll bring my grandchildren there. So I recently visited the zoo again, and this time around with my residents from Bishan Toa Payoh GRC. It was wonderful to see the smiling faces of the children and the parents enjoying the outing together as a family. Keeping our attractions fresh and exciting is important, and it is timely that Wildlife Reserve Singapore will be rejuvenating their 3 iconic nature attractions: Singapore Zoo, Night Safari, and River Safari, so that they retain their appeal for generations to come. This transformation will see animal encounters presented in new ways, adding a digital technology overlay to take guest experience to a new level. The master plan will complement the upcoming parks in Mandai, such as the new bird park, which will shift from Jurong to Mandai, and the Rainforest Park. And this will further strengthen Mandai as a key tourism precinct with world-class nature-based attractions and elevate its international standing amongst other competing attractions. In line with STB's strategy to spread out its tourism offerings across different parts of Singapore, we will be launching an expression of interest exercise for a new integrated tourism development with attractions, hotel, and other complementary lifestyle offerings such as F&B and retail at the Jurong Lake District. With its unique waterfront environment and location adjacent to the new Jurong Lake Gardens and the new Science Centre, we envision this area to be transformed into a key attraction from 2026. The expression of interest exercise will close in early November this year, and we look forward to receiving your ideas and your proposals. Ladies and gentlemen, we have achieved a lot together. Last year, international visitor arrivals and tourism receipts reached new highs for the 3rd consecutive year. I want to thank our hardworking team from STB, our board members for their guidance and their support, and also importantly, our partners from the industry for working together with us. But as I mentioned earlier, when we do well, we do not rest on our laurels, and we are keen to continue to improve our performance and to enhance our competitiveness through new investments and rejuvenation. Singapore is not done building and growing our tourism industry. In line with the theme of this year's TIC, Building Tourism for the Future, we must ensure that we keep pace with changes in the world and continue to stay relevant, to stay compelling, to stay attractive. Through new investments and startups, as well as rejuvenation here and abroad, there are plenty of opportunities for further growth. This will benefit our businesses and create good jobs for Singaporeans. Everyone here today has an important role to play. I strongly encourage all of you to continue to transform your business, invest in training your staff, and deliver high standards of service and customer satisfaction. We have done well, but there's still room for us to further improve and do even better. We must also stay open to attracting ideas and talent from around the world and to bring out the best of our local culture and heritage to share with our international visitors when they come to Singapore. We are proud of our heritage, and we want to share them with our friends when they visit Singapore. We want Singapore to be a place where dreams become reality and where passion is made possible. A place where we are proud to call home and where we can create the future together. I hope we can make good use of this platform today to exchange ideas on what the future of tourism looks like and how we can work together towards unlocking exciting opportunities in the industry. Thank you very much, everyone, and I wish you a productive conference ahead. Thank you.